Hello Baberonis, welcome back to another video. First, I just want to say thank you all so much. We hit 10,000 subscribers on here, and for me, that's a really happy milestone to celebrate. So I just want to thank you all for being here and for watching my videos. Alright, today we're going to dive into what's on my iPad. It started out as my husband's iPad, but then I started using it more than him, so it's ours, but it's basically mine. This cute black and white squiggly skin is from a brand called Unique Find, and it's the same company that I get my laptop cover and my keyboard, which you might have seen with the terrazzo print, so I'll link that down below. My keyboard is from a brand called Bridge. I have the 10.5 iPad Pro. It was made in 2017, so it's not the latest and greatest iPad, but I really love this keyboard because it makes it feel like a mini laptop. Alright, this is my little dashboard. I like to keep things very simple and minimal on here. These are my little widgets. I have the weather, I have my Google Calendar, and then I have my Notion widget, of course, my favorite app ever, which I will be sure to make a full video sharing how I plan my life in Notion, but this is just a little sneak peek of what's inside. I'm hosting an entire course inside of Notion called Simplify and Thrive, and hopefully by the time this video comes out, the course will be launching soon after. Next, I'll just address my obsession with finding a solid email application. I've tested out so many, so you can ask me questions about that anytime. Right now I'm testing Superhuman and TwoBird. I've been using Spark for years, and that's kind of how this journey began. I really wanted to find something that was better than Spark, and so I even tried paying for a program like Superhuman, which is $30 a month. That's too much to pay for email, but I was really curious about what it was like inside and what the hype was all about. And TwoBird was just something that I saw on the App Store. It has potential, but it's a little glitchy. So that's all I'll say for now. Maybe I'll make a separate video talking about my favorite apps that I use to make life easier. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Let's get into folders. This is my daily folder. So these are the apps that I use on a daily basis for work. Obviously, there's the Gram, YouTube. Let's see what's on my YouTube Discover page. Home tours, K-dramas, K-pop idols. This homepage does not surprise me one bit. We've got Slack, which is how I communicate with my team, my manager. I'm also a part of some other channels like Asian American Girl Club and Factora Wealth, which is a finance course I'm taking this year. Slack is just really awesome for eliminating all the back and forth emails. I use ShipStation and Shopify for my online store, The Homebodies, but I'm not going to show you inside here because there are customer addresses. Of course, we've got Pinterest, which I think on the iPad, the user experience is just awesome. I love going through Pinterest on my iPad. This app is called Planoly, and it's how I plan my Instagram feed. You can plan your posts, plan your captions, your stories, and just kind of drag and drop things around. The last app in my daily folder is Insight Timer. This is my favorite free meditation app, and so I use this on my phone and on my iPad. Dora is one of my favorite instructors on here, so be sure to check her out.
For many of us, we spend our lives living or being someone or something other than who we are.
Let's dive into the productivity folder. You all know I'm a big nerd when it comes to testing different productivity and efficiency apps. This is Dropbox, we've got Google Drive, Airtable. Airtable is really great for spreadsheets, but I'll be honest, ever since I started diving into Notion, it's pretty much replaced every other app for me. I do still use Airtable for some things, but I think eventually I'll end up phasing it out. Procreate. I feel like everyone who has an iPad has Procreate. I love using it for doodles for my YouTube videos. Andrew designed this fun little wallpaper, and I'm sharing these wallpapers with you for free, so go check it out in the description. Next, we've got Canva, and my goodness, I love Canva. It's such a great application. They have the free tier, which I used for a couple years, and now I'm paying for premium because it's that good. I use it for designing graphics across all my different businesses and platforms. It's such a great tool for creating beautiful graphics without having any design experience. This is a paper app. I didn't download it, it's Andrew's, but I assume it's for writing in a little journal, doodling. I don't use it, but this is what it looks like. Obviously, this is Google Docs, and this is Mighty Networks, which is where this paid community I'm a part of is hosted in. It's a really cool community for intuitive business owners, and it's run by Holisticism. There's notes and files, pretty self-explanatory, but what I really want to tell you about is Tide. To drop into some deep focus, I really like to use the Pomodoro Method, which is all about setting a timer for 25 minutes and just focusing on that task at hand. This is just a really beautiful timer, and I love all the different sounds that they have, but you don't even need to have sound if you don't want it. All in all, it's just a pretty timer app. This is my Korean folder. I've been learning Korean, I'm half Korean, and obviously I watch a lot of K-dramas, but I think I'd like to do a real online class with a face-to-face person across Zoom, so I'm looking into doing something like that in the springtime. That's it for the first page. Now we're going to move on to the second page, which we'll move through pretty quickly. Onto the entertainment folder. Let's see what's on Netflix. We share our account with Andrew's mom and dad, who are both named Robin, and one day someone named V showed up. We don't know who V is, it's a big mystery, but you know, we're just rolling with it. By no surprise, my entire Netflix is Korean. For the past year, I've pretty much exclusively been watching Korean dramas. It started out as a way for me to connect with my mom, my culture, and just learn more Korean, but I quickly realized that I like K-dramas way more than Western television, and now I have no interest in watching any American shows, to be honest. Except Outlander. Whenever Outlander comes back, I will be there. Some of you may already know, but I keep a list of all the Korean dramas I've watched in Notion, and I'll link that in the description below. I'm a big nerd, and I've ranked them, I've rated them, and it's just a great way for me to keep track of what I've seen. I also want to say my husband is so on board with this. He loves Korean movies and television even before we started dating. He's learning Korean with me, and I just really love that we can do this together. I'll quickly mention this app called Viki, which is what I use to watch some of my Korean dramas. You can watch Asian shows in general. I originally paid for it so my mom could watch it, but obviously I am now hooked as well. My husband and I are currently watching Luca, the beginning, and we love it. Alright, so then we've got Disney+, Prime Video, Reddit, which is pretty much where I go and ask, hey, what K-drama should I watch next? That's literally the only reason I use Reddit. Okay, enough about Korean dramas. This is my app work folder. We have a food app called Truebelly, and so this is just the folder where we keep all those back-end things. This is Andrew's games folder, which I don't really touch, but when I first got his iPad, he had game clutter, like probably 5 pages of games, but he luckily consolidated it. And this is our music folder, which is mostly Andrew's. We have a guitar tuner, Sonos, Spotify. You can check out what I've been listening to recently. Dalcom Cafe is my favorite Spotify playlist of all time. I've mentioned it in my newsletter, but it's basically K indie tunes. It's really chill. Basically, our weekend doesn't start until Weird Boy plays. Let me know if you end up checking it out. We are in the home stretch. This is the editing folder, and I'll just keep this brief. I don't really edit in here, but I have InShot, which is my favorite video editing app that I actually mostly use on my phone. But here are all the pretty wallpapers my husband made in Procreate. I'll link them down below. All you need to do is sign up for my newsletter, which I promise is really awesome and intentional. I definitely believe in email minimalism over here. Last but not least, we've got my utility folder, which is basically the junk drawer of my iPad. I will shout out that I love going onto the App Store frequently and seeing what new apps are out there, especially in the productivity realm. Alright y'all, that wraps up my iPad tour. I'll be sure to link everything that I can in the description, and let me know if you'd like to see a video on my favorite apps that I use on my iPhone. I definitely have way more apps there than I do on my iPad, but this was super fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.